Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed, 3 Victor 1 Bravo. Today I would like to make a presentation about our activities throughout the years, particularly the ones that involve youth. Before starting the presentation, I'd like to make a short introduction about our association. The Tunisian Amateur Radio Association, ARAT, was established back in 2011 by a group of young Tunisian amateur radio enthusiasts with the main purpose of creating an environment where it is possible to regroup other enthusiasts scattered throughout the country and promote the hobby. It became an official member of the International Amateur Radio Union (ERU) in 2014 and has been the sole representative of Tunisia ever since. Arat's community, essentially made of young individuals with an average age of 25, has been active on various levels and fields of the ham radio world, such as contesting, DXing, making projects, contributing to scientific projects and research, exposing Tunisians to the hobby and attracting youngsters. Broadly speaking, spreading the ham spirit. In this presentation, we will be answering one main question: how do we get the youth involved?
So welcome everyone. The title of this presentation is Involving Tunisia's Youth into the Hobby. This presentation was made by me, Ahmed, 3 Victor 1 Bravo, and Majdi, 3 Victor 1 Mike. We hope you like this presentation and you get some ideas on how we are getting things done, and eventually maybe you will get some inspiration from it. So let's get started. So here's a quick summary of what we will be seeing today. We've chosen to speak on 4 different topics, which are the following: promoting and advertising our hobby, diversifying our activities, sustaining our activities, going beyond borders, as we call it. We will see more details as we go. And finally, you will get an idea on what we are planning to do for the coming future. So let's start with the first slide here. So in this first slide, we will be seeing promoting and advertising our hobby through schools and universities. In order to get the youth involved in the ham radio world, we need to make them first aware of its existence. Some get the opportunity to look for it by themselves or by curiosity, but many youngsters do not know what is it all about, or sometimes have some partial knowledge. It is for this reason we try to be present at schools and universities through doing lectures and presentation to students. And this has been proven to be a great way to attract newcomers with us for the last years. Promoting and advertising our hobby through youth gathering and events. We do youth gathering and events throughout the year in one of our club stations. One of these events that I will talk about is YOTA TTT, which is a Scouts event that happens every year on the last weekend of October. For 3 days, around 80 participants get to learn a lot about amateur radio and technology through the workshops and lectures that we offer, like learning basic electronics, building antennas, learning programming, and a lot of other interesting topics. It is more like a YOTA Camp, but in a smaller version. These kind of events lets us explore our abilities as trainers, and therefore we gain good experience in setting up such events. Sustaining activities by organizing visits. We always try to set up plans for visiting different places and sites, like broadcasting stations, research labs, technology companies, and so on. For example, we visited a company that was working on launching Tunisia's first satellite into space at the end of 2020. This visit allowed us to get to know more about this project and offer our help in receiving the satellite's telemetry when it's launched. And lately we also did a visit to a research laboratory that was working on space weather on the VLF band. Organizing such visits is always a great thing for us because it is fun and keeps us updated with what's happening around us on a national level. So sustaining activities by attending regular meetings. One of the key ways of keeping the community active and thriving is through meetings. ARAT members have the habit of organizing various periodic meetings such as the annual meeting, mid-year meeting, monthly meeting, and recently we have been doing Skype meetings because of the corona pandemic. It is through these meetings that members can discuss the hobby and plan for the future. These kind of interactions not only allows us keep the community alive, but also make constructive steps to better understand its needs, to stay up to date and responsive to the changing of expectations. So diversifying our activities by being on the air. We always want to be on the air, whether it be working DX or calling CQ. Being on the air is always fun for us. This allows the youngsters to strengthen their English skills while having fun at the same time. Diversifying our activities through contesting. Even with our modest setups, every time we do contesting, we generate big pileups, and this is great for us to push our stations to its limits and test our skills at the same time. But we prefer participating in the multi-app category because this way we can work as a team and learn from each other. So contests are a great way for us to learn teamwork. So experimenting and projects. This is one of the main topics we focus on in the association. Every year we try to launch many different projects to work on, for example, satellite tracking station, beverage antennas, phased verticals, antenna arrays, and the list goes on. These kind of projects allows us to put our skills in good use and keep us occupied while we are in our club stations. So what we mean by going beyond borders is we always intend to be active and get involved with the ham radio operators, not just on a national level, but on an international one too. Therefore, we signed a cooperation of agreement with the Algerian Amateur Radio Association ARA back in 2014. Since then, we collaborated on many different levels, like organizing 7X-ray low bands the expedition during the past New Year, which was a huge success for the two of us. And recently, since the start of the quarantine period, we started to co-organize a series of online courses and knowledge sharing sessions for university students. So through this cooperation, we are able to combine our efforts to the development of our amateur radio communities. So beyond the borders also include our participation in the YOTA camps. Our first participation was back in 2015. Since then, we participated 5 times in a row with a different team each time. Here in this slide, you can see the names of the participants. I'm sure some of you will recognize some names here. For us, participating at the YOTA Camp is a great opportunity to gain a lot of knowledge and new skills that eventually we will be bringing back home and putting in use with our local community. I'm sure that every other youngster that participated in one of the YOTA camps did the same. For me personally, I had the chance to take part as a member and a team leader in 2 versions of the YOTA Camp. The first was in 2016 in Austria, and the second was in 2017 in the UK. These 2 experiences have truly boosted my interest into the hobby and gained me a lot of new ideas and experiences that I will never forget. But most importantly, I gained a lot of good friendships, and I'm sure that this is what YOTA is all about. So here's the list of some of our ideas and plans for the future. We are planning on hosting a sub-regional YOTA camp in Tunisia. We think that this is possible for us, and we have some great ideas for it. And we are thinking on doing more collaboration with ARA, which is the Algerian Amateur Radio Association. We are also planning on starting new radio clubs in universities around Tunisia. This will boost our presence in universities. And we are also thinking on organizing training sessions and courses for our national call sign exam. doing more the expeditions that includes youngsters, and organizing a Morse code boot camp. That was a list of our ideas and plans. We hope we can achieve it eventually.
With the end of this presentation, I would like to thank the International Amateur Radio Union ERU and the YASME Foundation for their continuous support and contributions to our activities. And I would like to thank you all for your attention to this presentation and 73's